Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Selenium Tech Automation. In this today tutorial, I am going to discuss about what is hybrid framework, and also I am going to show you the framework folder structure as well. Okay, I am going to show you the folder structure as well. If you are attending for any interview, while during your interview, if your interviewer will ask you about the folder structure of your hybrid framework, means you can just show in this way, like how I'm going to explain you. Okay, before starting this tutorial, if you are new to my channel, that is Selenium Tech Automation, please subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to watch this video till the end, and if possible, please do a share of this video to your friends or colleagues so that they will also get some knowledge about this hybrid framework and folder structure of that hybrid framework. And also your share will helps this video for recommending more people. Okay, so let's get started today tutorial, that is what is a hybrid framework and how the hybrid framework folder structure will looks like. Okay, first we will discuss about what is a hybrid framework here. So here the combination of two or more automation frameworks. Okay, the combination of two or more automation frameworks, we can consider it as hybrid framework. So here the frameworks means data driven framework plus keyword driven framework. Okay, for example, I am telling data driven framework plus keyword driven framework, combined it together we can call it as hybrid framework. Okay, so for example, there is a scenario, there is some test login feature. Okay, so to test a login feature means, so there are some scenarios, like for example, if I enter my username, correct username, and if I enter my correct password, then you can able to log in. So at the same time, if my username is correct but password is invalid, so during this time you cannot able to log into your application. So in the same way, you can have your username is invalid and password is valid, so during this time also you are not able to log into your application. And the last scenario here is both the username and password both are invalid. Okay, so these kind of test cases we need to repeat for different data sets, right? So during these scenarios we have to follow this data driven framework. Okay, to maintain all these test cases with different set of test data means we have to opt for, or we have to go for data driven framework. Okay, for example, let me open a paint, I will tell you in a clear way here. So first, this is my username. Okay, this is my username, for example. Okay, let me, I think paint is not working. Yeah, so now you can see here, this is my username. Okay, and this is my password. Okay, so here are the my test data. Okay, for the first time the username is valid and for password is also valid. Okay, password is also valid. So likewise, the second scenario here is username is valid but my password is invalid. Okay, that's what we discussed now. My password is invalid. Okay, and my username is invalid. Okay, and my password is valid here. Okay, this is also one scenario, and my both username and passwords are invalid. Okay, my username and passwords are invalid. Okay, to test, okay, to test these scenarios we need to go for data driven framework. Okay, so I want to test all these scenarios. Okay, I want to test all these scenarios, so during this time we have to go for data driven framework. Okay, we have to pass all these parameters using of XLSX documents to maintain test data. Okay, we need to pass all these parameters using Excel document to maintain our test data. So that's why we need data driven framework here. Okay, that's why we need data driven framework here. And also, what is a keyword driven framework here means the name itself, it is suggesting it is completely concentrating on keywords. Okay, the name itself, it is telling which is completely concentrating on keywords, that is called as keyword driven framework. First, we have to identify set of keywords in our application and then associate it to an action or a method related to these keywords. Okay, for example, okay, the name itself, it is telling keyword driven framework. First we have to identify set of keywords in our application, and then we are going to create some method relating to those keywords. Okay, in keyword driven testing, every testing action like opening browser, closing, and clicking, and sending. Okay, so these are all the some common actions. So first we have to open our browser. After opening the browser, once if we done with our application functionality, we are going to close our browser. Okay, in the same way, if we are automating means, so we have to perform some click actions as well, and also we need to perform some send keys actions as well, and also we have to select some drop downs, and also we need to automate some radio buttons or checkboxes. Okay, so these are all the common functionalities where we are going to store into some with the help of keywords. Okay, for example, for Gmail application, so I will tell you, for Gmail application, okay, for Gmail login application, what are the scenarios? Okay, first what we need to do, we have to open the browser, right? First we need to open browser. Okay, so after that we need to enter our URL, right? Enter our URL. After that enter username, and then enter password, right? Enter password. No, after entering the username, if there is any next button, you can click on that next button. After clicking on next button, it will ask you to enter the password as well, that is enter password field. Okay, after that click on login, right? After the next step is click on login. So here you can see the first one here is open the browser, and the second entering the URL. Okay, after that we are entering our username. Here we are performing some send keys. Okay, performing send keys action here. Okay, performing send keys action, and for next clicking on next means we are performing click action, right? We are performing click action. After that entering the password, right? Here also we are performing send keys action, right? So after that what we have, login button, right? So we need to click on login button. Okay, so these are all the common functionalities if you are automating the login scenario. Okay, first what we need to do, we can create once, but you can access a number of times. Okay, for example, for entering the username, I can create only once the method, so I can use that method multiple times inside my framework. Okay, so these are all we can consider as a common functionalities. Okay, these are all we can consider as common functionalities, right? These are all considered as a common functionalities. Okay, these are all called common functionalities. So after that, for hybrid framework, we need to list out all the common functionalities. Okay, you already see here, we already listed, that is entering the username and clicking on the next button, and entering the password and clicking on the login button. Okay, so these send keys and click action, these are all the common functionalities, and also where we are entering our URL, and also we are launching our browser. Okay, so these are all we can consider as common functionalities. For opening the browser and then URL, for defining these two, I am going to create a property file. Okay, for opening our browser or for launching my browser, and then I'm going to open my application. For that what we need, we need one URL to launch our application, right? So these two I can store into some properties file. Okay, in that property file I'm going to provide like browser equals to edge, or my URL equals to www.gmail.com. Okay, it is like key and value format. We are going to store these opening the browser and launching the URL means I can store these two in a properties file with the help of key and value pair format. Okay, so first let me create a project here. Okay, please watch it carefully. So I'm going to create now one hybrid framework now. Okay, so that is Maven project, obviously. Okay, I'm going to create one Maven project. Okay, click on next. Sorry, so I have to create a simple. After that next, so here I can mention my project name as hybrid. Okay, hybrid framework folder structure. Okay, and artifact ID here is simple Gmail application. Okay, Gmail application, then click on finish. Okay, you can see here the artifact ID is our project name, but our group ID is hybrid framework folder structure. Okay, this is my Gmail application Maven project. So here So first, as we discussed now, first what I need to do, I want to launch my browser and I have to enter my URL. Okay, for that reason we are going to create one file that is called as properties file, right? So to create that properties file, first I have to create one folder, okay, that is called properties file. Okay, that is called properties file. Okay, properties file. So here I have created one properties file now. So inside this properties file I'm going to create one file called dot properties file. Okay, so click on this file. Okay, that is called environment dot properties. Okay, environment dot properties, the name extension will be dot properties and my file name is environment. Okay, then clicking on finish, that is environment dot properties. Okay, here I can mention, okay, let me zoom. Okay, I can mention my key as browser and my value as Firefox. Okay, so this is how we can pass for browser and also for URL. Okay, that is https www.google.com for example. Okay, this is about URL, and if there is any username you can just enter username equals to, we can pass username here, that is admin, and password as admin 123. If there are any extra environment related details you can add it here, for example db. Okay, db username, that is username is data db user name 1. Okay, the password here is db password. Okay, db password equals to db password 1. Okay, so and also you can add if there is any other URLs like your SQL URLs or anything. If you are working with database you can just mention here inside this properties file. Okay, after this what we need to do, we have to access the property file information to the code, right? We have to access all this information into our code. For accessing the properties file information, we are going to create a package that is called as utilities package. Okay, that is called as utilities package. I can create under main folder only, sorry, main package only. I am going to create a package called utilities. Okay, if you are working with Maven project, means the naming convention should be com.gmail.utilities. Okay, so to access all these properties related information, okay, to access all this property file information, I want to create one package, the package name called, what is our package name here, that is com.gmail.utilities. okay, that is called com.gmail.utilities. so once that is done, for retrieving the properties for information I am going to create a class. Okay, I want to retrieve this information into my code, right? So for that I am going to create a class that is called as property file utils class. Okay, that is called as property file util. Okay, property file utils dot class. Okay, so this is my class name called property file utils. Okay, here I am going to create my method, okay, to get the value from this particular properties file. How to create? So first I have to write a line here, that is public static string. Okay, here I am taking the return type as string. The method name is get value for key. Okay, get value for key. So and I am taking here as parameterized method, which is accepting one parameter called string key. Okay, the parameter is called string key. So we need to write, we need to add one return statement here. We will do it slowly. So for this, how we can call the data from properties file with the help of file input stream. Okay, file input stream, I am going to create an object for file input stream, new file input stream of, where is my path got located. Okay, so here I have to mention my properties file path, right? So it is in my current project directory. So that's why I'm going to put one dot operator here followed by one forward slash. What is my folder name here? Properties file, right? So that is properties file, and my file name called environment dot properties, right? Environment dot properties. Okay, so now I need to declare some throws declaration. Okay, change type of FIS to file. One second. Sorry, new file input stream here. New file input stream of file. Okay, so now we need to throw some declaration here. File not found exception. If that file is not available, it will throw you an exception called file not found. Okay, once this line is done, so what is our next step? We have to use one properties class here. Okay, you can see this is our properties class. What it will do? Set of properties. Okay, with the help of this properties class, we can easily load the key and value from this particular file, that is environment properties. So that's why I am creating a class here, properties class, and object is prop equals to new properties. Okay, new properties. So once this is done, so in this way we have to create a reusable method. Okay, so once this is done, I want to load that properties file. With the help of load method, we can easily load all the key and value pair from that particular properties file. Okay, here in my case it is the object FIS. Okay, once this is done, okay, property load, okay, IO exception. Once this is done, our prop dot get property, you can see here get property of key. So anyway we are mentioning this key as parameter, right? So that's it. Okay, we done with our return statement. Yeah, so sorry, so it is returning the key, right? Okay, it is returning my key, so that's why I'm going to return the same key here. Okay, so now it is fine. So in this way we have to create a reusable method for accessing the key and values from this particular environment dot properties. Okay, so the same we discussed here, we can create only once, but we can call this method throughout our framework for n number of times. Okay, so then what is our next step? Okay, then what is our next step? So in the properties file we just define, okay, in the properties file we just define which browser which needs to be open currently, but we did not write any code for that. Okay, we didn't write any code for that. Okay, we did not write any code for that which browser you want to launch. Okay, for that we have to write some code. Okay, and also I want to launch my URL and I want to enter my username and password. I want to click on login. So these are all the common functionalities, right? So for that reason only we have to keep all these functionalities in a separate folder by creating one more package called as common functionalities. Okay, that is called, sorry, package name is com.gmail.common functionalities. Okay, common functionalities. Okay, so this is my package name. So here I'm going to create a class called common functionalities. Okay, here I'm going to create a class called common functionalities. Okay, common functionalities. Okay, this is my common functionalities class. So where I can write the code for launching the browser. Okay, where I'm going to write the code for launching the browser. Okay, so for that how we can give? So here let me create one method, that is public static. Okay, public static. So I am taking here the return type as WebDriver. I think I need to add Selenium jar file dependency file here. So let me take our old projects. Okay, so here my test ng is available, and also one second, test ng Selenium, and Apache Py also I will add. Okay, till here. Okay, so let me go back to our Gmail application pom.xml file. So here I'm going to add this one, right? After project tag I'm going to add, okay, what error it is giving. Non-parsable bounded exam must start with dependencies tag. Okay, dependencies tag we missed out. Okay, that is fine. And yeah, you can see that error got resolved now. Okay, so now I'm going to create a method for launching the browser. Okay, public static, the return type here is WebDriver. Okay, the method name I'm taking here start browser, right? Start browser. Okay, start browser, and I am taking parameter as WebDriver only. Okay, WebDriver driver, right? WebDriver driver. Okay, once it is done, so let me maximize this. So I want to add some return statement for this one also. So I am returning here what is my driver, where I'm going to launch now. Okay, so now if, so I'm going to use if condition. If, what is our class name here? Property files, right? Property file utils dot get value for key. You can see here what is my key? Browser. Okay, dot, okay, dot equals ignore case of, if it is equals ignore case of Firefox, so then you can launch my Firefox browser. Okay, so after that driver equals to new, sorry, Firefox driver, right? Firefox driver. Okay, so let me add throws declaration. So after that, if it is Firefox driver, you can launch my browser as Firefox. Else, if my property file is containing Chrome, you can launch my driver as you can launch my browser as Chrome. Okay, so in the same way we can take this one as well. Okay, else, okay, I need to do here if condition. Okay, so let me revert it back. Else if what happened, driver equals to new Firefox driver, else, okay, so no problem, I am continuing with if condition only now. Okay, so if my browser is Chrome, you can launch my Chrome browser. Okay, so I will come to that point now. So here you can take Chrome driver. Okay, here you can take Chrome driver. So likewise you can create how many browsers if you want. Okay, it is for Edge. If that is Edge browser, you can call this Edge driver, you can launch this Edge driver. Okay, so but finally what we are returning here, okay, but finally what we are returning here, we are returning any one of the particular browser driver, right? So once this is done, return which driver it is, right? Return which driver it is. That's all. So now we done with our browser specification also. So that is under common functionalities package. Okay, so and also here we can open our application. Okay, how we can create to open your application. So in the same common functionalities only, I am going to create a method called public static, okay, void open Gmail application. Okay, open Gmail application, and here also the parameter as WebDriver only, WebDriver driver. Okay, WebDriver driver. So once it is done, so now what I'm going to do, so once, Okay, once I made some specification for which browser we are going to launch, so then our next step is to launch our application, right? So to launch our application, what is our first step here? So we need to maximize that launched browser once. Okay, driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Okay, this is the command for maximizing the window. Okay, once it is done, so I want to get some URL, okay, which is coming from the properties file. So how we can write a line for that code? So with the help of driver dot get method, okay, driver dot get method. So here I am going to use property file, okay, property file util, okay, dot get value for key. What is my key here? URL. Okay, what is my key here? URL, right? So now what it will do, it will automatically take the value URL from our properties file. Okay, this is my method for opening the Gmail application. Okay, so once it is done, so the next step is, so we are going to perform some click action, right? So for that, how we can create a new method? So in the same way, that is public void, okay, click action. For example, the method name is click action. Okay, so likewise we have to create the reusable methods, and we are going to keep it inside the common functionalities package. Okay, so this is for click action, right? So here now, if, so before that we have to parameterize this method with different parameters. The first one here is WebDriver. In the same way, WebDriver driver comma, then I'm going to mention my string locator type here. Okay, what is my locator? I'm going to mention here locator type, and what is my locator value? That is also string locator value. Okay, string locator value. So this method is accepting three parameters. The first method here is the first parameter is driver. The second parameter here is locator type, whether it is XPath or CSS. Okay, after that, what is my locator value? So where I am going to perform some click operation, right? So now, so now, so I am going to create with the help of if condition, right? If this locator type dot equals ignore case of, okay, if this locator type dot equals ignore case of if it is id, for example that locator is id. Okay, so then what I'm going to do, I'm going to perform click operation, driver dot find element by dot id of, what is my parameter here? Locator value. Okay, locator value dot click, right? Dot click method we are going to use here. Okay, and else, okay, if else, right? Else, so if that is not the id, so then what is our next one? Name, right? So let me add this line here, else locator type dot equals ignore case of name. Okay, locator type dot equals ignore case of id, driver dot find element. For example, let me add here else if, okay, else if, sorry, so let me, sorry, let me remove all these below lines and make it into a single line. Okay, else if locator type dot equals ignore case of id. Okay, so then what I'm going to check here, that is for name. Okay, that is for name. If that locator is having the name, you can just take that value and click on that particular button. Okay, so in the same way we are going to add one more line, that is for class or anything you can take. Okay, else if the locator type dot equals ignore case of XPath, for example, you can click on that. Okay, so this is how we can create a method for click action as well inside this common functionalities class. So if you want to write for send keys also, I can write. So for example, let me create a new method for send keys action as well. So because these are all the common functionalities where we are going to use throughout our framework, I mean reusable methods. Okay, so then I'm going to create a method for send keys, right? How we can create in the same way, that is public static void, that is my send keys action, right? Or type action I can mention. Okay, type action, for example type action. Okay, so this one is also accepting three parameters, like how this click action accepted. Okay, driver, driver comma string. What is our string here? Locator type only, locator type. And what is our value here? String locator value. Okay, locator value. So one more parameter is there, that is string test data. Okay, so which data I am going to enter, I am taking that as string only. Okay, so here I took four parameters for this method to enter or to pass the test data into that particular text fields. Okay, so after that what I am going to write, if the same way. Okay, it is also in the same way. Let me copy till here and paste it inside this method. Okay, let me paste it inside this method, but we can change only here by dot id locator value dot send keys. Okay, we can change only this one, dot send keys, send keys of data. Okay, send keys of data. Okay, so in the same way we can change for remaining as well, remaining locator types also. Okay, so this is how we can create a method to enter some test data into our application. Okay, now these are all the common functionalities just now what we created. After that, what is one more common functionality? So we are going to close the browser. Once if you done with your automation process, we are going to, once you if you done with your execution of your test script, so what we are going to do, we are going to close our browser. So that method also I will create here only, that is also public static void. Okay, then close browser. Okay, then closing the browser, closing browser, or quit method, you can call it as quit method. Okay, so it is also accepting one parameter called driver. Okay, driver. So here I am going to mention driver dot close or driver dot quit as well. Okay, if you want to close your entire session, you can mention driver dot quit, but I want to close the current window, means I am taking this driver dot close method. Okay, so this is also one reusable method. So likewise, if you want to provide for any synchronization, so there also we can mention the same. Okay, how we can create, if any synchronization issues was there, you can provide some wait for that particular element. For that we are using explicitly wait here. Okay, so let me create that method as well here. So these are all the common functionalities, so where we can reuse these methods throughout our framework. Okay, so this is how we can create inside a common class, that is called common functionalities class. So let me create a method for synchronization with the help of explicitly wait. Okay, this is for wait for element. For example, I can consider it as wait for element. Okay, so here also we can take WebDriver string locator type and string locator value and string wait time. Okay, this is string wait time, I can change it to string wait time. Okay, this is about string wait time, how much time you want to wait. Okay, so after that, so here after this line I have to tell that WebDriver wait. If I am taking this explicitly wait means, so we have to take WebDriver wait here. WebDriver wait, create an object with the help of wait equals to new WebDriver wait. Okay, new WebDriver wait of, okay, duration comma driver. So what is our driver here? Driver. Okay, that is integer. I am going to convert this one now, integer dot parse int of string to integer. How we can convert? So in this way we can convert. Okay, parse int of string. What is our string here? Wait time. Okay, So this part is also done. So now, okay, I need to use I mean, because of the latest version of Selenium, it is deprecating here. If you are using latest version, means you need to mention in different way, that is diver comma duration dot off seconds. Okay, so once this step is also done, so now I am going to use this wait with the help of if else statements. Okay, so if that is dot equals, ignore case of id, wait dot until. Okay, the help of wait object, wait dot until expected conditions. Okay, expected conditions, expected conditions, sorry, expected conditions, right, until expected, until expected. What happened? Wait dot until. Okay, wait dot until expected conditions dot, what is this one? Visibility of element. Okay, visibility of web element. Okay, visibility of element, where is that one? Visibility of element located. So because I am using here the string, so that's why I'm taking this method as visibility of elemented located by dot id. Okay, by dot id of what is our locator value. Okay, so in this way we can create the help of explicitly wait. Okay, so in the same way I can create for name as well. So just let me copy these two, only these two are enough, and just paste it here by removing the below send keys method. Okay, so here also I can remove. Okay, and then for export also I can update the same. Okay, so this is how we can add a method where it will wait for particular time with the help of explicitly wait. Okay, so once this common functional library is done, where we created common functionality methods part is done, so our next step will be, what is our next step? Okay, once it is done common functionalities, what is our next step means, so we have to maintain all our test data. Okay, so we have to maintain all our test data. For storing that complete information, we are using here the Excel sheet. Okay, for storing all the complete information, means the input test data what we are passing to our application, so we have to store. So for storing, we are going to store inside our some Excel document, right? So for that I have to create a new folder called Excel. Okay, or Excel file. For example, Excel file is my folder name. Okay, Excel file is my folder name. Okay, so let me modify this one. So initially I used here if only. Okay, all I used here the if only, so that's why let me modify this code as well. Okay, so now go back to here and change it there. Okay, else if okay, if property file dot equals, ignore case of Chrome. Okay, till here, right? Control C, else if sorry, so I will directly use here else if. Okay, and I can directly use here one more else if. Okay, what error? Else if, else if, else if. So somewhere I made mistake here, so let me check. So I can just copy this line and I will paste it over there. Okay, so there is some confusion about this else if and else if always, so that's why I'm taking copying here, and let me copy this line here. Okay, so now I will replace this with edge. Okay, I will replace this with the edge browser now. That's all, right? This is for edge. Okay, edge, and I am returning edge driver here. Okay, edge. Okay, now we done with this edge driver as well. So our next step is what we discussed, to store the complete information. For example, if I want to enter my username, means I need some credentials, right? So to store the complete information, okay, I'm going to store into some Excel files. So for that I created a separate folder here, that is Excel file. So inside that file, so I'm going to create a sheet name called, I mean a workbook name called input test data. So where is my Gmail application got located? So let me go back to that Gmail application. So here is my Gmail application project, that is E drive under tutorials. Okay, so E drive under tutorials, this Gmail application got located. So let me go to E drive. So here is my tutorials folder inside this Gmail application. Okay, inside this Excel file. So here I am going to add a file called Excel file. Okay, Microsoft Excel worksheet, you can see. Okay, so I can mention it as input test data. Okay, this is my input test data dot xlsx. Okay, in this way you can go and update your file. Okay, so now let me go back to our Eclipse and refresh that folder. We will see whether we are getting. So let me close this regression form.xml file and let me refresh this Excel file, so that you will get one Excel file here. You can see it is giving that input test data dot xlsx file. Okay, so here how we can mention our keywords here, just open this test data dot xlsx file. For storing the complete information we are using this Excel sheet. Okay, for storing the complete information we are using this Excel sheet. Okay, first let me enter some test data here. The first column name here is description. Okay, the first name of the column name here is description, and the second name column name here is object type. Okay, and my third column name here is locator type. Okay, these names should be same as the method name parameters. Okay, the method parameters what we are taking, and this is my locator value. Okay, and this is my test data. Okay, test data. So if you want, you can mention here status as well, that is status, whether it is pass or fail. So you can update here as well. So let me add some description here. So this is my key. Okay, what is my key method name there? Open browser. Okay, open browser. So what is the object type? Start browser. Okay, so the locator type here is not applicable. For opening the browser we don't need any locator type, and for locator value also we not applicable, and test data also not applicable. Sorry, locator type, locator value, yeah, and status we can add it later. So likewise for the opening application also we don't need any locator type and locator value. Object type here is open application. Okay, open application, locator type is not applicable, not applicable, not applicable. Okay, so these are all the keys. Okay, these are all the keys called as keyword driven framework. Okay, so after that, so that is wait for element, right? Wait for element. For example, my method name is wait for element, and here the what is object type? Wait for element, and locator type is id. For example, id, locator value is anything you can pass here, identifier or anything you can pass here, the xpath or anything. Okay, then test data is how much time? 10 seconds I want to wait here. Okay, so that's why I'm adding here 10 seconds here. So this will be like this. Okay, so in the same way I want to enter my username, right? So I want to enter my username. So how we can enter username? Okay, enter username, right? So object type is here. What is our object type? Type action, right? Type action. This is my method name, and what is my locator here? The same identifier also. And test data is, what is our test data? Selenium 123 is my username. Okay, so once it is done, to enter password, okay, to enter password, enter password, okay, enter password. Here also the same type action, and here also I am taking the id as, oh sorry, this time I will take xpath here. Okay, this time I will take xpath. So after that, one second, after that, this is my xpath. Okay, at the rate id equals to, at the rate id equals to identifier. For example, I am telling, in this way we can create our test data. Okay, so this is my locator value, and what is my test data? Selenium tech. Okay, this is my test data. So once this is done, so I am going to click action, right? I am going to perform click action, that is click login button. Okay, so click login button. So what is my action here? Click, right? So for that I am mentioning here the keyword as click action. So here the locator type is id, and the value here is identifier. Test data not applicable because we are performing click action. For that we don't need any test data. So here, so I can mention here a sheet name as login form, for example login form. Okay, so this is how we can create our input test data if we are working with keyword driven framework. Okay, this is for login application. I created one sheet that is called as login form. Okay, so once it is done, so then what is our next step? So what is our next step? We have to retrieve all this test data from excel sheet. Okay, we need to retrieve all these test data from excel document to my eclipse. For that I am going to create a new package called as utils package or excel file utils package. Inside mail only I will create a new package called excel file util package. Okay, the naming convention is com.excel file util, okay, com.excel file utils. Okay, so what this package will do, it will retrieve all the test data from excel sheet and it will upload to your application. For that we created this package. Inside this package I am going to create a class. So where this class, what it will do, it will retrieve all the test data from that particular test data document and it will enter into my application, right? So for that I created here as excel file utils, the class name called excel file utils class name. Okay, excel file utils class name. So here also we can create with the help of, okay, so here you can update some piece of code, so where you can retrieve the test data from this particular input test data document, that is this one. Okay, so this is how we can create one more separate package to handle this test data.xlsx file. So our next step will be, what is our next step? After retrieving the information from excel document, okay, after retrieving the information from excel document, so what is our next step? We have to launch our main class. Okay, with the help of main class only we are going to execute our test scripts, right? So with the help of our main class only we are going to run our test cases. So for that we have to create one main class called, so how we can create? So now I'm going to create a main class inside my test package, that is src test java, right? The package name here, new package name. What is my package name here? Test cases, for example com.gmail.tests. okay, com.gmail.tests. So here is my first test case. I'm going to create new class that is called gmail login. Okay, I'm not going to take any public static void main because we have already test ng, so that's why I'm not going to take. So after this you can click on okay. Okay, inside gmail tests all my actual test cases got located. Okay, so here I'm going to write all the necessary test methods, okay, with the help of @test annotation. So I'm going to create a method called public So it is the remaining process you should know. Okay, we have to create methods to call all these reusable methods, so then we can make it as a final class. This is one test case for Gmail login application. Okay, so this is how the folder structure will be looks like. So after this, so what is our next step? We have already one testng reports folder is there, so you will get reports from that particular testng file. So if you want to create your own reports, you can. Okay, if you want to create your own reports means you can just create a reports folder, and there you can add your extent reports or uh, allure reports or any kind of reports. If you want to generate, you can create a separate class for that and keep it inside that reports folder. Okay, so that is how this framework will looks like, the hybrid framework. Okay, that is how this framework will looks like, the hybrid framework. So first, what is hybrid framework? The combination of two or more automation frameworks, we can call it as hybrid framework. In this tutorial, I discussed about data driven plus keyword driven framework. So when some test cases needs to repeat for different data sets, then we can call it as data driven framework. And these are all the different set of test data, that is username valid, password valid. And also for Gmail login application, so we have to, what are the scenarios we need to test the Gmail application. The first step here is entering the URL, entering the username. Next, clicking on the next button, entering the password, and clicking on the login button. Okay, these are all the common functionalities where we stored inside some common functionalities package name. Okay, so this is how this hybrid framework folder structure will looks like. Okay, so I will explain you one more time. First, what we did here, we created one properties file here where we stored all our environment related properties. So to achieve, I mean to retrieve all these properties inside our coding part means we created one properties file utils class. So once if we done with this one, the next step will be our common functionalities. So where we are going to open the browser and entering the URL and clicking the action, I mean one to perform the click action and to perform send keys action, and also to wait with the help of explicitly wait. Okay, so these are all the common functionality methods. Once it is done, we are going to enter all our test data. So for that reason, we are storing into some Excel document. Likewise, description, object type, locator value. So these are all the test data, that is called as input test data, and I mention here as the sheet name as login form. With the help of Apache Py dependency file, we can easily add that code inside our Eclipse. Once if we done with that Excel file utils, so what is our next step? That is a test case, our actual test cases we are going to create. So for that, I just created one package inside this src test java package or folder. So after that, I created one new class that is called Gmail login. So here onwards, you can call all these reusable methods, and also you can use easily call these methods inside your actual test case. Okay, so this is how this hybrid framework folder structure will looks like. If you want to add any reporting part, you can just create one more new folder here, like the same way how I am doing now. This is for reporting. Okay, for example reporting. So here you can add that reporting. Once if you execute it, it will automatically come and store inside this reporting folder. Okay, so this is how this hybrid framework folder will looks like, structure will looks like. So I think it helped something for you. If you like this video, please drop a like, and also don't forget to watch this video till the end. And also, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, and please share this video to your friends or colleagues so that they will also learn from this concept. And also, your share really helps this video to recommend for more people. That's all it for now. So I hope you learned something from my side. Okay, so that's all it for now. We will connect with our next video from our channel. Until then, take care everyone. Signing off, Selenium Tech Automation. Thank you so much guys. Thanks.